This is the UAA Student Union Gear Rental Database HowTo file. It is March 2010. And this is how we open it up. FileMaker Pro is the file database program that we use to run this software. Your account name is going to be your first name. My name is Michael. And a password that you've already set up. If you haven't set up your password before, it will be InfoDesk or password. You will talk to whoever is in charge of that, and then it will require you to change your password. There's also an option here to change your password in case you've forgotten it or in case you'd like to update it. The reason we log in is to track who made which corrections and changes to the database so that we can ask questions. You're not going to get in trouble if you make a mistake. It's just so we can find out exactly what happened and know exactly who used who checked out that piece of gear. Log in. First thing we come to is customer information. It'll pop up with the default person, whoever the first person is in the database. Don't need to worry about that. Normally, if this is a rental, we're going to walk through a regular rental first. So if it's a regular rental, you'll have somebody in the gear room. You can find out from them if they've used this database software before. The very first thing that you do when somebody wants gear is you swipe their ID under current student or current faculty staff. That's the first thing that's done. Once they are approved there, if they're not approved, they need to bring some proof they're a current student. Okay? Next semester doesn't count. Last semester doesn't count. Current semester student. Alright, so then you're going to look up customer. You're going to have their ID so you can get their student ID number. I'm going to go ahead and type mine in here. And it found me. Michael Smith. Here's my phone number. Here's my information. For a normal person, that's going to be already filled out. If it's not, click Edit Customer. We can update some data here. My street address. I'm going to change that, etc., etc. 77. Complete it. Okay, so we've updated that. It works here. On the customer information, we can look at history. We can look at notes. We'll come back to that. Okay. Ready? We're ready to check out some gear. Check out gear. This is the gear rental agreement form. This is what we'll print out. It's missing one section of it, but this is all the things you need to fill out. This red box here is all that we fill out once we get here. If you notice, student union staff name's already in here. The renter is already in here. The renter information, their name is already propagated up here. They're going to need to sign here when it prints out. Gear type. You have to have already done the checklist. You need to do a checklist for the gear that's going out, and you need to fill out all that information and keep it and staple it to this form. So let's say snowboard package. Okay, here I'm going to put the snowboard number, SU5, whatever it is, and boots number. Boots, 44, whatever it is. Deposit rate, that's going to be the deposit for the snowboards. I believe currently it's somewhere around $100, and then rental amount. You need to find that from the sheet. Okay? Now, if this is a checkout piece of gear, you can notice today's date's already in there, 3/20/2010, and we just need to check the to date. Let's just say they're taking it for 1 day. And time. These are optional fields. Time and time are optional fields. I like to put that on there just to make sure that they're going to come back at the correct time. But you have to notice that it will be really specific about how you enter the time field. Total due, that's going to be 100/12, which is the addition of these fields and those fields, okay? Alright, so now we're good. We can print rental form. On my computer right now it's not going to work, but normally it would print out a copy. And then it's going to ask you if the customer would like a copy. You can say yes or no. Just ask the customer whatever they want, it's fine. You need to make sure you give the student a copy of the gear rental agreement and go over it with them. Those are those little orange sheets, or they're different colored sheets with the gear rental agreement on it. Imperative, absolutely imperative. You need to talk to them about it. You need to be familiar with it, and you need to talk to them about it, okay? Because if you don't, they're going to come back and say, well, I never found that out, and then we have no way to force them to pay or make retribution for any of the gear that gets damaged. All right? As soon as you're done with that, it'll have printed 2 copies. You need to fill out the credit card information for a deposit. That's the easiest way to do things. If we still are accepting check or cash deposits, you need to clip the amount of cash, which needs to include the deposit and the rental amount, the total of both of those, to the form, put it in the box, in the lockup drawer, and we'll take care of that. If it is a check deposit, we need 2 checks. Okay, the first check needs to be for the deposit amount. The second check needs to be for the rental amount. All right. Okay, so now it's going to come back and we're logged out. This forces the next person to log back in once you're done. All right, you can just log back in with your user. That's fine. All right, and this is ready to go, ready to check out more gear or whatever we need to do. Next, we're going to talk about what it takes to make a new customer. Here's the new customer button. You just click that. You enter in their information, Joseph Black, whatever, you know, phone number, student ID number, email address, gear special mailing list. That's something we haven't yet implemented as of now, but we most likely will. That's if they would like emails when there's specials. UAA affiliation, that's student or staff or faculty. This is the drop down box. Click one of those. Generally it's going to be student. You got a street, city, state, postal code. Okay, that all this information needs to be filled out. I'm just going to put in some bogus information in there for now, just so that we have something. Okay. Email is required. We're not going to allow that to remain empty. We need to put something in there. Okay. Here's a special mailing list, and you put N or Y or anything, doesn't matter. Complete. Now I have Joseph Black. I can check out gear to him, etc. Okay, so now I've got Deidre Jones, and I can look at different information. I can look at the history. Here's a useful tool. If you know somebody's checking some gear back in, but you can't find the file, come back here, you find their information, look up customer by student ID number, go to the history. Here's here's a transaction. Looks like Deidre Watt checked out some gear on the 7th. She returned it on the 8th, or it should have been returned on the 8th, and that was the total that was due. We can look at that whole form here. Deidre Jones, this is her information. Okay. She checked out some ice skates, some hockey skates. There looks like 3 pairs of skates. Alright, that's good. We can print that out if necessary under file print. All that kind of thing, that's going to be handy. And then continue takes us back. Okay, that's basically the gear rental database. Thanks for watching, and I hope that this was helpful.